because every second matters as we see these two teams run out very similar colors, but really electric, and it's going to be a heck of a great first match.
Most will tell you the team on the left, the Southern headliners, the headliners will call them, they are the deepest team on paper, the best core, the best pedigree on the team, but that woman there, Stacey Waka, the Black Fern, two-time World Cup champ, and her side, they've got 3 New Zealanders on their side, so they've got a fair amount of pedigree as well, Bree Kim, being the great rugby country New Zealand is.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Waka and you look at Willison and Nuku, I mean, those are the international names that just get you scared. But then you look at the rest of the roster, Hamden, Bonte, Weathers, Manitoga, those are all Eagles names that are very familiar in the U.S. scene. I mean, it is electric and just going to be such a physical game. And you get a look right here at Mona Tupou, who is not in the starting roster, but just came back from the other under-23 border battle, also playing the Pacific 4 Series. She's going to be physical.
Now on the headliner side, mention the pedigree, mention the depth, the consistency. Who stands out? Who do we need to watch on their side?
I mean, Magali Harvey is a name that everyone has known for many years. Her step is so lethal. Monique Coffey is an up and rising Canadian who is going to be entertaining as well. But look, a little bit more of an American-Canadian flair on this side, though you do have Kukutai coming from the Southern Hemisphere as well. But it should also be noted, Abby Gustaitis, who was up here in the booth in the previous stops, she gets to play again in her hometown. She's a local product, so you know that the crowd is going to be out here for her.
So the first of 8 matches here today, the semifinals here in our first 2-hour window. We'll be shifting over to FS1 here in the United States and in North America at 6:30 Eastern time. So we get it underway here. There's the drop kick to get us underway, and it's out of the reach on the near side there as Weathers couldn't get to it. The ball's got to travel 10 meters there, and it didn't.
Yeah, it looked like the kick maybe went 8 meters or so, and you could see as soon as the kick went off, she put her hands to her face and said, "My bad, guys, it's not how we wanted to start."
Yep, getting off on the wrong foot, literally. So we'll scrum down from here.
And it's so interesting because these center scrums are very dangerous. They're very hard to defend because you have so little people, you have so little defenders outside of the scrum. So you have to be very conservative with how you're going to go because you don't know where the attack is going to go.
That voice you hear, our referee wearing a wireless microphone throughout all of the matches today.
Crouch. Line. Set.
Monique Coffey plays it in, gets it. She's immediately dragged down. Good tackle made there by the locals. To the halfway line. Or a Hurff with a carry. Penalty called against the locals. Here's Abby Gustaitis. Now Monique Coffey out of Dauphin, Manitoba. Joined the series last season and made a huge impact to this headliner side. Pass low and at the feet there, potential turnover, but it's held on to by the headliners for now.
And you could already see the pressure from Waka flying up. Tapper really had no time to react as that farm defense results in a turnover in this phase.
Now the locals have it into the hands of Stacey Waka. Waka, good outside ball inside of the 22-meter. They double team the ball carrier there. Ruck ensues to the back, and it's played out of there by Nini Weathers. Big hit there. Olsen with a hit for the headliners. Trying to offload there. Ball down on the turf. Locals able to get back to it over there. Shahir Hampton had a touchdown. Now they try to break outside. No doing there. Looking for an open teammate was Nuku. About 10 meters out from the try line. Play to the back now. Now Waka, 1v1, cuts through, trying to get in there. Waka to the line, and she's got it down. Stacey Waka setting the tone, and that's 5 as the locals take the early lead.
And of course, it would be her to dot down, but it really came from the composure from the entire team. We saw so many phases on the right-hand side there, and just the continuity that they were able to start with from the get-go. And then by the time they got that ball out, even though the headliners were already set and organized in defense, just Waka's physicality and getting that one-on-one, that's an advantage that they're going to continue to look to exploit.
locals getting the early lead here. There's the two-time World Cup champ in 15s, Rugby World Cup champ in 18, Olympic champion in 2020. Last event, she had 6 tackles in Pittsburgh, and that young lady too, Bree, I remember her well from last year, Grace Kukutai out of New Zealand as well. She made a big impact. Let's check in down on the pitch with Nick for some updates on what the coaches told him. Nick.
Yeah, thanks, Holds. Chatted with everybody before this one kicked off, and since it was the locals who struck first, let's start there with Coach Fahey. She says, listen, these guys on the other side, they've got those strong runners fast. So their objective, keep it clean, slow down their ball, be patient, as you saw on that first try. On the other side for Coach Locke, he says, listen, we've seen these guys before, but we cannot take anything for granted. We've got to stay calm. It's a new tournament. Nothing is going to be given. If we want to win this, everything is going to have to be earned.
All right, Nick, thanks. Nick will be down there throughout the day here with us. All kinds of great information and much more coming pitch side. Now the headliners making some shifty moves. Good ball inside. Chance here to the 22, cutting inside. Good offload there. And the headliners take it in. And it's put down by the Caledonia, Michigan product, Alena Olsen. And the match is tied at 5.
Look, that just comes off of the first mistake from the locals, not getting the kickoff right. That is deadly for a team like this, for any team in this sevens tournament. And Magali Harvey, we talked about what kind of steps she has, and Kukutai able to shrug off a couple of defenders and continue opening up other gaps for Olsen. She is always in support with those runs. So really like how calm, cool, and collected the headliners were in that passage of play.
For your kick, yep.
So the headliners convert the kick.
Okay, time off. Time
Drop
off.
goal kick
Let's try
is what you have to do with the conversions.
Balls, please. Mike, send that ball, boy, when the conversions are being made. Time should be off. I have 1:49 on my clock.
Bit of a homecoming for referee Haley Aguiar, who spent some time here as well before moving to San Diego. But know that she is excited to reunite with the local ref teams here as this kickoff gets underway.
Short one, handled by the locals calmly. They've got it. To the back now. Willison. Good break from her. Picks up several meters of real estate. Penalty call here.
No, here.
And it's going on the locals.
And Harvey not tapping quite on the mark.
Okay, time off. 11 and 7, pink. 11 and 7, pink.
So we're getting some subs here, and 2 subs coming
Time
in.
needs to be off. Good.
Porter will check in. Alyssa Porter, number 8 for the headliners. Jenn Salomon, New York State product. She'll come in. There she is. You read anything into that?
No,
strategy-wise or not?
It's all tactical. Look, it is humid conditions as always in DC. And so when you have, especially when you have someone like Naya Tapper, you want to make sure that she is on the field for those last few moments, especially in the second half, right? Making sure she can have an opportunity at scoring a try, and so you pull them off in the middle of the game, give them a little bit of rest, and then put them back in. So completely tactical, expected of the headliners. Line out here for the headliners. Gustaitis way up to get it. Good ball there. They got some space up that far touchline. Good ball back inside of the 22. They're about 15 meters away. But the ball is going to change possession here, going over to the locals. Oh, and just unfortunate, because I loved that execution on that line out, because if we can see a replay of that perhaps, what happened was the headliners faked going out wide to the 3 backs that were set up, but instead Gustaitis just kept it in her hands and then dished it off back to the weak side. That's some great stuff. So the scrum controlled here by the locals, deep in their own territory. Bad ball played back there. Headliners trying to win the battle. Porter gets in there. She can't come up with it. But it's knocked on. The ball's going to go over to the headliners. Look, it's just pressure right now. When you are in your own 22, especially your own 5, you have to give yourself a little bit more depth and time, and just the hands not going quite to, or the ball not quite going to Weathers' hands, and Porter just right there to make sure she killed that ball as they get a really good attacking opportunity.
They sure do. The time has expired, but we'll play on here.
It's a free kick here, so Coffey will get that quick tap as she looks to get it out wide.
It's it free, and it's taken in, and the headliners get that late try, and they cash in off that turnover deep inside of locals territory, and they take it in for a 5-pointer. It's a 12-5 match.
And the headliners just looking a little bit more composed right now, and that's the difference of this first half. Creating defensive pressure, taking advantage of that, and the scrum error there. So Coffey gets the ball on the quick tap from the free kick of the scrum, and then just too easy for Kukutai. When you're so close to the try line, that's an automatic 5 for you.
So a 14-5 count here as we've hit the halftime break. They're quick. 7 minutes over in a hurry, and locals jumped on the board, getting that first try from Waka, but 2 tries, 2 converted tries from the headliners here. They're up by 9 at halftime.
Don't need to go for the conversion.
Yeah, 2 possessions, but look, 2 possessions is nothing, especially when you have 7 minutes. I mean, you could have just less than a minute left on the clock, and 2 possessions would still be nothing. I mean, I know when you're looking at home and watching the clock, you start to get stressed out. Your heart starts to race a little bit more because you're not used to having so little time. But that's what's so important, is who can stay the most composed. And you know that Andrew Locke right now, talking to his team, is just reminding them of that and reminding them of the strategy and game plan that he designed specifically for this first match.
Speaking of Andrew Locke, moved to Virginia, so this is a homecoming for him of sorts, as you told me yesterday. Lauren Barber was with him last year. Won 2 events this season. Top women's side in the championship. 13 points was awarded when you won one of the previous 4 stops, but today it's all about playing for the hardware and claiming the championships here on the men's and women's side here in PR Sevens. Ben Holden, Bree Kim, Nick Gismondi down on the pitch. Dean Walker's our producer, and all of our crew here in Washington, D.C. Again, everything about this sport at a high pace. The halftime is about a minute and a half, and they're back on the pitch, Bree. Great sport, growing. These women out here playing some of the very best you'll see in the world in this competition here this weekend in D.C.
Yeah, and as we kick off the second half, ball goes to the locals. They must make sure that they get this kickoff receipt right. And honestly, they need to make sure that they can get the most out of this possession, see if they can put points on the board, because headliners came out of that half with all the momentum.
They sure did. So we're underway here, 14-5 here to begin this 7-minute second half. Locals work it to the back. Handled by Nuku back there. Nuku puts it off into a teammate's hand. There's Monique Coffey. She's a speedster, but a good all-around player. Could play either for the U.S. or Canada. She's selected for one of those national teams. Got eligibility in both countries. Now the headliners come back. They track it down. Trying to make a step and get her on Waka. Does the ball carrier there, but down to the turf she goes. Olsen in to get it. Gustaitis, a little dummy there. Now she'll play it back. Get a suicide pass there. And a big hit delivered there from the locals. Finished off there by Naya. Now here's Coffey and that speed. She's slowed up though a bit, but a big pickup there for her, Bree. She is dangerous.
Oh man, and that's huge for the headliners. That big hospital pass really set them back, but just able to keep the possession there, and Coffey just relieving more pressure as she continues to take another ball into contact.
Ruck ensues, they get it laid back, now they play it back. Harvey, another collision there, part of this great sport. Now it's Olsen, Alena Olsen. Trying to go back, good hands there from Porter to hang on to it, avoiding the knock-on. Now Olsen, trying to cut inside. Initiates the contact there right at the 22-meter line. Now Abby Gustaitis. Not sure how much longer her career will continue. you, she's had a good one, but playing again this year. And a couple of more substitutions here, Bree. Jetta Owens, number 2 for the locals, and Shamira Robles checking in. Robles wears 11. Also coming in.
But that was a big turnover by the locals. Their defense, Red knew the switch was coming and was able to defend that and just get a big hit to pop that ball out. That's crucial in a time like this in this half.
All right, let's check in with Nick Ismani down in the pitch. Halftime adjustments, Nick, what do you got?
Yeah, thanks, Holds. And it wasn't necessarily that. I talked to Naya Tapper and asked her, what did you like about that first half? And she said, you know what, I thought we played really good, but it was our response after they struck first that really encouraged our group. They're very vocal, they're very upbeat. It's tight out there, obviously, but Tapper likes the way her squad's playing.
Good stuff. Toasty down there, isn't it?
She's a little warm. It's definitely humid here. I'm not even moving, and I'm pretty drippy.
We'll see you at the break, my friend, up in the booth. Here's the restart now, the headliners. Headliners up 14-5 here, trying to add to it and punch their ticket into the championship here in DC. Locals down by 2 tries here, down by 9. Locals come up with a key play there, forcing the turnover there, Bree.
Yeah, that's Jetta Owens, another local product out of Columbia, Maryland, went to Virginia Tech, now plays her ball in New York. But a crucial poach, again, we said they still have plenty of time, but it's been all headliners' possession up until that turnover as Waka comes streaking down the sideline.
Here she comes, Coffey though with that speed, dragged her down, grabbed a hold of her top of her kit there and pulled her down. Now the locals, it's going to be a penalty call, and it's going to be a yellow coming in there too early. And it's on Dajian Brown. What do you think, Bree?
Oh, that is a tough call for Brown, and you hope that is not the momentum changer. But the call that Aguiar made was that Dajian Brown was playing the ball, not the player, and so ensuing intentional knock on there. So that's 2 minutes.
Yep.
Now she's in the chair, and now they're on defense. This is something that the locals must capitalize on.
So checking in for the headliners. Well, 2 subs, Naya Tapper, number 7. Emma Farnan, number 13. Tapper leads all women in the series. There's Farnan, who was great here last year in DC, but Tapper, 5 tries, the most decorated women's USA player of all time.
Did not like playing against her in college, Ben. I will just say that outright. There's nothing else to say about that, but it's so good to see her just continuing to break barriers and make history on the United States scene, on the international scene. But you have to wonder here, they've got to be conservative as the locals take advantage of this play.
Here's Stacey Waka, tons of room. She's got support on the run. Waka about 10 meters out, drop down to the turf. Trying to pick it up and sneak away there, but it's going to be a penalty call. Looked like offsides there on the headliners. Quick tap, restart. Here come the locals. They need a try. They're not 2 tries. There's one of them. They take it in, and it's 14-10 now with 3:15 and counting to go with a conversion attempt coming up.
Oh, and it looked like the headliners were going to turn over that ball, but Tapper just getting caught offsides in that ruck. And then knowing that they had the advantage in numbers, they could have spun it out wide, but Owens spotted that gap, took it herself, backed herself, and now we're just 2 points away. And you can see here, this is again from that initial breakdown. Hamden gets it out, and Owens just spotting the gap. Salomon just giving a little bit too much space. And Owens, look, if you can dot it down close to as close to the post as possible, that just makes it so much easier for your team. As you can see, now it's tied up because you get those 2 points. Every kick is so important today.
Here's the kick. Near the touchline on the far side. 2-point match here with 2:10 and counting to go.
And excuse me, it is not tied. It's 14-12 headliners, but again, that is just so important in these last couple of minutes here.
2 minutes in this sport, Bree, is an eternity, is it not?
Depends on which side you're
true.
on, Ben. But yes, it is. There's still plenty of time, and it's all about conserving that momentum. And so now the locals have the line out, and then they return to full strength for the headliners.
Brown's back out of the sin bin after the yellow.
Time's accurate. We're gonna hold.
So the headliners, maybe not, too pleased with hoping they could have come out with just, conceding no points in that possession, but that's okay. There's still plenty of time, but the locals looking to ride what they have here and then attacking out.
Headliners 2-0 against the locals this season. They've won 4 straight coming in, have the headliners. Can the locals get it done here in the late stages? Tapper's right there, stays with the ball carrier, offload, no, locals trying to sneak up the touchline, toward the corner, and time is off.
The player going to touch. Are you happy with grounding? Thank you.
It's a try. The try is awarded with 1:16 left here in this match break.
Man, and the locals just executing here. A little bit of a messy lineup, but able to contain. And really, it's the dummy runner from the wing. You can see Weathers going in, just really freezing their fence there. And Willison just doing such a good job to get to distract Tapper as Weathers comes back around. And just that little bit of stiff arming buys Weathers the extra space, the extra time to get that try.
So the locals on top here.
Aaron, to confirm, that conversion was no good, right?
17-14's your count here. 40 seconds remaining here. Always playing for somebody.
Was conversion good? No, thank you.
Locals have had 3 different try scores here. They opened the scoring first. Headliners popped in a couple.
Time is accurate.
Stacey Waka
Time is accurate.
involved in that first sequence. She scored the first try. So time right now, 34 seconds remaining here in the match break.
This restart is so important. Can't make any errors here, and she makes no mistake as the locals look to apply this pressure.
So here's Coffey trying to use that speed. Good play, offloading there. Here come the headliners now. 25 seconds. Ball batted. They try to get to it. It's still loose. Headliners can't get it. Waka couldn't get it. And it's called a knock-on.
And look, there's only 12 seconds, maybe not even that much time now. Referee does call time off. So the time might not be accurate as you see it continue to wind down, but locals has possession. They are so fine with buying all that time. You hear the referee say 15 seconds left on her clock. They're just gonna look to conserve, look to crash, keep possession until those 15 seconds wind down and get that ball out.
Locals get it. Drag down. Be careful with it here. Waka's got it. It's getting some open space. They play it to the back now. Trying to burn this time up. They're on top by 3 here. Headliners trying to come up with a turnover. Get another chance. Waka takes a look. There's the kick into touch. Stacey Waka puts it out, and that's the match. And the New York locals win it 17-14. They were 0-2 against the headliners. The headliners see their 4 straight victory streak come to an end, and the locals are on to the championship here in 2023.
And the first heartbreak we see of the day for the headliners who had such a valiant effort in that match, but just not enough. We know that every single match today is going to be so close. Just 3 points was the difference in this first match. But the locals triumphant, just not letting those earlier tries eat away at them and be resilient and carry through. And now they have booked the first spot to the championship final.
They were down 14-5. They scored 12 second half points to win it. 17-14 your final count. So a big win, and really we talked about her. You see her getting a hug there from her teammate, Stacey Waka. It started with the interview with her. She came out, set the tone for her side. Even though they were down, they slipped down by 9, but she got them on the board first, and in the end was the one that sealed the deal, kicking it into touch.
Yeah, look, Sevens is all about riding those waves, whether it's the highs or the lows. And the locals just able to do the best there as we see Weather celebrating her game-winning try.